Thank you so much for tuning in to The Awakening with Katina Love and segment on Inspiration Sunday. I am Katina Love, your host of the Awakening with Katina Love show. This is a go-to resource to learn about self-empowerment, the law of attraction, creating financial abundance, and natural health. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Awakening with Katina Love, where there are over 70 shows to download for your listening pleasure. Our special guest today is Kevin Young. He and his wife, Suzanne Young, are law of attraction coaches and organizers of the Billionaires Club in Farmington Hills, Michigan. Please visit their website at psprograms.com. Today, we're going to talk about being in the hot seat with Abraham Hicks. And Abraham Hicks is a collective consciousness of what some will refer to as Source, God, or the universe. And they're also teachers of the law of attraction, channeled through Esther Hicks. Kevin, thanks so much for being a guest today. How are you?
Wonderful. Thanks so much for having me, Katina.
Wonderful, wonderful. You're welcome. So let's jump right in. What is the law of attraction for those who are brand new to this, if this is a new term for them?
Sure. Well, the law of attraction, our definition, it's a naturally occurring phenomena of nature. And it says that like energy is attracted to like energy. So it's basically a sort of a magnetic force of the universe. That the neat thing is that because we control the thoughts that we think, the energy coming out of us, the law of attraction then responds to that energy and brings us things that match in what we call frequency or vibration.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Very interesting, right?
Well, I spent many years studying it, and it's just pretty fascinating stuff. It's so neat to know that we are actually can be the creators of our own reality, just as most people are unaware that this exists.
Right, because it's working whether we realize it or not, right?
There you go. You're always on.
And it's also one of my favorite subjects too, the law of attraction. I actually came across Abraham Hicks about 4 years ago and just really just jumped in with 2 feet and just resonated with me. And I've just been studying this material since then. So it's been a great journey. It's been a really great journey.
And it's so fun because the information's with the internet and electronics and so forth, the information is now able to be spread in all corners of the globe. And it's so empowering to know that people can take back control of their lives anywhere they are. They just have to understand that's in their thoughts and how to manage that.
Absolutely. So can you share who Abraham Hicks is? Like, can I elaborate on that some more?
Sure. So Abraham Hicks Publications is actually a company founded by Jerry and Esther Hicks about over 30 years ago, when they totally unintentionally discovered that Esther herself had the ability to, in deep meditation, bring in this collective consciousness, and she just gave it the name of Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the biblical reference, it's just the name that came to her. And she discovered that when she was in the subconscious state, she could actually translate these blocks of thoughts that were being transmitted to her. And over time, they learned to trust it as being pure, positive source energy information. And we recommend anybody who's interested in this, go to YouTube and just search for Abraham Hicks material and test it out for yourself and see how it feels for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's what I did. I tested it out and I actually did discover them on YouTube. And I think it was some of the videos that Willie Vargas had put up. He has one of the largest groups on Facebook for Abraham Hicks. It's called Abraham Hicks, the Vortex Group. And he had put up some videos and I came across them on YouTube, and it was just amazing. It just resonates so well with me, and they're
that's
just
the
awesome
magic
teachers.
Word. Yeah. The magic word is resonate. Only you really know that that it's the right thing for you, and maybe it's not for everybody, but you know it, don't you? Like right in your gut, you know it.
Oh, absolutely. Just feels so right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the hot seat. The hot seat when you I'm just fascinated with the hot seat. I don't think I would have the nerve to ever get in the hot seat, but it's so fascinating to look at the videos on YouTube. And to me, it seems like it takes a lot of courage, at least in the beginning, to actually go up and conversate with Source.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, right on, just being in that hot seat and being vulnerable and just, allowing what it is that they want to say to you, speak to you in that way. It's just, I'm just like, wow.
Well, then I'm not going to burst your bubble.
Sure, go for it. Go, you can burst my bubble.
Okay. No, it is a magical experience, and for those who are fairly new to this idea, the hot seat is when Esther Hicks does the workshops. She does these workshops worldwide, and up to 200 a year, for the last 30 years. And so what she does is they go to different hotels and cruise ships, and then people come to this auditorium and they sit in the auditorium, and Esther's on stage, and there's a seat up there and a microphone in front of the seat. And Esther gets into her trance state, brings through Abraham and does a little intro, and then reads the audience, and then picks people from the audience to have questions answered. So on the surface, it looks like, okay, it's just a Q&A, and Esther's up there just randomly picking people. But there's some incredible magic that's actually going on. And this is where you need a little bit of belief in non-physical consciousness, which has a broader view and that we're all connected in at maybe a subconscious level. And when Abraham is reading the audience, Abraham already knows what everybody's question is in the audience. And they also know how close people are to receiving the answer.
Yeah.
They also know how articulate each individual might be in articulating the question and receiving the answer. And so as long as you raise your hand, then you're in the running. But you have to light up, meaning you have to be close you have to be clear about the question and sort of detached from needing the answer, so you're still in a positive place. And when you're in that state of mind, then you light up like a light bulb. And so Esther can see your energy through Esther's eyes. Abraham sees your energy. And if you're somebody who can articulate the question in a way that will help the most people who also have that question in the audience, then you get picked.
Yes. And then don't you have to raise your hand too to let them?
Yeah. The Abraham will not pick anybody who just for privacy's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So going back to when you were first picked to be in the hot seat, what was that like? What did that feel like?
Well, it was a shock.
I'm sure. Initially, right?
Yeah. Well, you're putting, there's anywhere between 250 to over 1,000 people in the audience. It really depends on the size of the venue, but typical venues are around 600 people. So a lot of people put their hands up, and Esther could be 100 feet away on stage. And so you got your hand up, and then different people stand up, and then so there's a little back and forth. Abraham will say, okay, stand if you think it's you, and then you stand up, and then they'll say, you're the one. Yeah. And but you don't know, there could be 10 other people around you, and so people start towards the front, and it's kind of funny. But everybody's heart races in that moment. But eventually, they sort it out. They're very funny and gentle about it. And so it's like, okay, it's like you're drawn almost like a magnet to the stage. It's almost like being in a dream.
Wow.
And it's really why it works, because Abraham is a powerful collective consciousness, of very, very, of course, leading edge positive and consciousness. And so when you're moving up onto the stage and you sit in the hot seat and they adjust the microphone, and then you're staring into Esther's eyes, and it's not Esther, because I've met Esther before.
Wow.
A friend of mine who's been in the hot seat before, she said it's like looking into deep pools of wisdom.
Wow, that's amazing.
So you kind of are looking, you're looking past Esther right into Abraham, and then there's this incredible energy field, and you're on stage, and you can almost see yourself in the monitors on the side because there's big TV screens, and you can hear your own voice, and of course, you're nervous.
Yeah.
But Abraham's powerful positive energy just kind of provides this energy field and allows you to find your question, because they know that you're close to getting the answer. They know you. They're talking to your own inner being, so they know exactly what to say that'll elicit the question from you. And I don't know, it's just it's hard. Until you've been there, it's almost hard to describe.
Wow. Yeah, I bet. Yes. So I'm looking forward to actually going on one of the cruises or one of the workshops
Mm,
sometime this year.
mm.
So, like, can you remember from your first experience or other experiences, like some of the questions you asked, like some of the questions you really wanted answers to?
That I got to ask?
That you got to ask.
Yeah, well, of course, every one of them I wanted an answer to.
Mm-hmm.
But what's interesting is that it's easy to second guess yourself, and that's when you don't get picked.
I
So,
get it. Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, so it's almost, I found that it's almost like I just all of a sudden I knew that what the question is. Like I want clarity on this, and I don't really care if I get picked. I just know that I'm going to get this answer, because everybody who's in the audience and has a significant question, you'll get your answer even if you
Mm-hmm.
don't put your hand up.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, Esther or Abraham's reading the audience. So
Yes.
the first question I remember asking, I think it was in 2010 maybe, our first event, or maybe 2009, was what the difference was between consciousness and thought. And
Mm-hmm.
there really isn't much, because thoughts are actually conscious, and that opens up a huge conversation which would take a whole nother interview, I think, to go through.
I bet, right?
But if you want just a couple of brief
Yeah.
overview, okay. So in 2008, when I discovered Abraham, when we discovered it, my wife and I had been diagnosed with a brain tumor. And so it's sort of a question, and sort of like the negative and the positive kind of came at the same time. And so that's, again, another story, but that really got me on the journey of self-discovery, self-empowerment, law of attraction. And one of the things I asked in the hot seat in probably around 2011 or so, I think it was on a Panama cruise, was, can I get my hearing back? Because part of the surgery to
Mm-hmm.
remove the brain tumor removed the hearing nerve in my
Oh,
ear. So it's not
okay.
possible to get it back from conventional medicine, because there's no
Mm-hmm.
nerve there. And they said, of course, you can regrow an arm if you've lost it. It's all
Yes.
about the degree to which you can believe something. They said, your
Mm-hmm.
request has been duly noted. Your job is to get off the subject and to relax into it, which
Wow.
isn't that easy to do, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
Right.
one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, for instance, the last time when we were in Cancun, a year ago, March, I got sick, and I had gotten sick on a lot of the cruises we've been on. And it's like a weird pattern, because I just don't get sick otherwise. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had just gotten sick and gotten better. And so I was just getting better. I went to one of the workshops, because it's about 10 hours of workshops over 7 days or so, 2 hours a day or that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put my hand up, and it's like, I'm just dang tired of being sick on cruises,
Right.
and I want to
Right.
know why.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, so I was not second guessing myself. I was just like really clear. I'm tired of this. I want an answer, and no resistance.
Yeah.
And so, boom, I got picked right at first.
Mm-hmm.
In I think the second segment or something. And it was this 20-minute long answer that got into other things that were going on in my life that all contributed to why I was creating illness, and how to ease into that, and to find joy in the things that led up to the cruise, and joy in other places. Because the bottom line is so simple. You
Mm-hmm.
just got to find joy in every moment in your life,
Yes.
and then everything else works out. You attract everything else you need: health, money, relationships, everything
Isn't
spin
that
off of the
something?
same thing. It's ridiculously simple, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Almost like
But
it's
it's,
by design.
yeah, and but the thing is the resistance. Like we're like, really? Like, because of the opposite of what's been practiced for the average person over the years, the contrary thinking or the negative thinking, or
Yeah.
if we could let that go on a continuous basis, our life would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or even just a little bit of it. It could be
Mm-hmm.
really amazing. It's
Yeah.
it's it's because it's an interesting point, because the range of emotions really have to do with the amount of energy that you're flowing through you, and how you're powerfully attractive you are. When you're down in fear and powerlessness, there's no power. But when you move up and get into even just a little happier, the amount of power that comes out of you, that is being emitted from you, can double every time you kind
Yes.
of notch up. And so people don't have to necessarily just be in joy all the time. They just got to do a little bit better every day,
Yeah.
and
At
they'll have
least At least tip
Yeah.
the scale, right? Tip that
Yeah.
scale
Yeah.
to
Tip the
be at least
scale.
51% happy, 51% of the time or more.
Yeah.
Then I think we have a better chance that way, right?
Well, it's all matters of degree. You got
Yes.
60,000 thoughts a day, and every one of them count. And
Isn't
so,
that something? That
yeah.
is
So,
just because we're constantly creating, right? We're just, you know, as much as I myself try to control my thoughts, it's like I still can't control every thought. You know what I mean? It's like
well,
I
there's a
just,
secret to that. Can I share that?
yes.
Okay. This is the magic of the law of attraction. Again, why it's such a simple system and so hard, as you said, to do, is that if you try to monitor your thoughts, then you're using thoughts to do so.
Ah, isn't that
And
something?
yeah, and so you've got a built-in guidance system that monitors your thoughts for you, and it's called your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just the solar plexus region, the heart area, is what people typically say. So your heart space or your heart is actually monitoring your thoughts, and so if you care about how you feel and you can get
Yes.
tuned into
Yes.
that heart space, then all you got to do is care about how you're feeling in the various moments, and then if you're not feeling good, then stop. It means your
Yes.
thoughts are heading in the negative direction, and so then you correct your thoughts until they start to feel better. Just that
Yes.
little practice will make a huge difference in somebody's life if they just practice that.
Absolutely. And if we could just be in tuned with that inner compass, with our intuition, and just be conscious of it, then
Yeah.
we'll know like where we're headed, what we're thinking, if something's coming that's something that we desire or not desire. So if we're feeling that negative emotion in our gut, that means that we're going down the wrong path.
There you go. It
Period,
means,
right?
yeah, well, it just means that we're going to get back exactly that emotion that we're sending out. That's all.
Wow, isn't that amazing? And it shows up as people that, reflect that back to us, situations, events,
Everything. Yeah.
everything.
Everything moves by attraction. There is nothing random. There are no accidents. There's no luck. There's no chance. Everything moves through the power of the attractive force.
Wow, that's amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. This is good stuff. So, if someone's new to this, like what advice would you give them?
Well, there's so much material out right now about law of attraction, and there's of course much more beyond the law of attraction. But it's a great place to start. Um, you can actually use your own intuition and start practicing your guidance system by either going to YouTube and searching on law of attraction, or you can go to Google. You can go to a bookstore and just search on it, and then whatever material lights up for you, just just kind of relax yourself. Don't try to make anything happen. And just one of the videos or one of the books will just jump off the shelf at you, and that's the one that's meant for you next.
Absolutely. So it's just a matter of relaxing and not trying to control things. Just
Yeah, because you want to get
relaxing and
yeah. Yeah.
allowing and following that guidance, right? Just following that inner guidance.
Well, and that's the thing. We care more about what we're thinking than what we're feeling because we've been taught to be an action-oriented society. But the infinite intelligence that's around us communicates through the solar plexus, and so you got to shut the mind down and get the chatter out of the way and the negative thinking so that you can hear the guidance. And then it really becomes crystal clear when you do that. It's just that our society doesn't promote that, and so it sounds like a waste of time to just get quiet and meditate, but I tell you what, it's exponentially powerful when you start doing it consistently.
Absolutely. I totally agree. There's not one day that goes by that I don't meditate, even
Ah,
if
good
it's
for
with a
you.
guided meditation, whether it's Abraham or Deepak Chopra or Michael Bernard Beckwith or somebody. I have somebody's CD going
Mm,
when I go to bed at night and when I wake up in the morning, some type of guided meditation is there
yeah,
and I'm
good for
tuned
you.
in. Yeah. So that's, this is my
Mhm.
thing here. I love talking about the law of attraction and higher consciousness and being on that leading edge of thought and just all this great information, and there's so many great teachers available to us today.
Well, and your show as well. You've got what 60 or 70 recordings of all sorts of spiritual uplifting material. It all contributes to people
Yes,
being uplifted and finding that connection.
yes, yes.
Good for you.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much again, Kevin, for being a returning guest on the show today.
My
If
pleasure.
someone wanted to reach out to you, to check into about the classes that you and Suzanne teach, is it best to go to their website, psprograms.com? Is there another way to reach you?
Sure. Yeah, psprograms.com is the website. We do law of attraction workshops. We're going to do a webinar series before long. And Suzanne and I both are professional coaches, so we do phone coaching and group coaching and that kind of thing. Anything to help people get enlightened. And they could also call our phone number anytime, 248-349-6225 is our office number, and leave us a message. We'd be happy to catch up with you.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you again for being a guest today, and enjoy that weather out there out in Farmington Hills or Novi. Yeah, absolutely. And so the Billionaires Club, I had a chance to come to one of the meetings. And when is the next one? Is it this week on the 15th?
Yeah, on the 15th, we meet Thursday evening, 6:30 to 8. We do a pre-meeting meditation at 6, and it's at the Unity of Farmington Hills in Farmington Hills, Michigan. And the fee is $10. And we talk about all this stuff for an hour and a half, and anything that you guys want to talk about in the group is fair game. So come out and play with us.
Yes, I plan on being there this week to play.
Oh, great. Oh, it'll be great to see you again.
Yes, absolutely. So thanks again, Kevin, and audience. Thank you for tuning in to The Awakening with Katina Love. Namaste.